listening to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here, riding solo to break down Thursday's three-game MLB DFS main slate. Taking a look at the DraftKings board here today. Getting to these three games with Miami versus Washington, San Francisco versus San Diego, and Atlanta versus the LA Dodgers on the main slate. Before we get to the DraftKings board, however, check out rtsports.com/alarm, promo code alarm23. New users get a 100% deposit match with their first deposit. Go check out an RT Sports, their DFS pick'em games, or their fantasy football championship and best ball tournaments going on right now. The NFL season is right around the corner. No better time than now to join over at rtsports.com using the rtsports.com/alarm, promo code alarm23 deal that we got going on here today. As I mentioned here, we just got three games. Gonna be a quick little one for the breakdown today. Taking a look at this DraftKings main slate, starting off with your pitching. Despite being a three-game slate, we do have Spencer Strider and Lance Lynn on the mound. We have Braxton Garrett as well as your top three price starting pitchers. Strider and Lynn are running up against one another here. Garrett going up against Washington. We have Avila here going up against the Giants, Adon going against Miami, and Manaya likely as a long reliever at some point in this one here going up against the San Diego Padres. Generally on a three-game slate, we don't mind stacking starting pitchers. Had it been any other matchup for Lance Lynn or Spencer Strider, we may consider doing that here with both of them obviously running into some tough spots. So you pick and choose your poison here. Do you run with Spencer Strider going up against his Dodgers offense with the likes of a Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts the way they're going? Or do you try and test Lance Lynn going up against this Atlanta Braves offense with the way that team is going, getting production not only from Ronald Acuna and Matt Olson, but Marcell Ozuna, Eddie Rosario, Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, and up and down that lineup, just Matt Olson even providing just a ton of production there. So despite them being the top two price pitchers on the slate, pretty tough spots for them. Garrett goes up against Washington, a team that's been pretty pesky all season long, but are starting to get bit by the injury bug here. Lance Thomas out, Stone Garrett's out. So some of their guys that have given us troubles against left-handed pitching earlier this season, not likely to be in their lineup for this matchup with Braxton Garrett. So again, looking at this slate, I don't have too much interest here in the value. We did just see Adon shut out the Miami Marlins over 6 innings. Miami has been a team that has hit lefties better than righties. So this is a spot where maybe Joe and Adon can continue to find success, but I don't often like the prospects of a starting pitcher pitching against the same team for 2 starts in a row. Seemingly, hitters make those adjustments and tend to have the number. But on a small slate for $5,400, knowing the bats that we may try to fight into our lineup tonight, he would be the one value play that I'd take a look at. I'm not going to play Manaya against the Padres. I'm not going to pitch Avila here against the Giants. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of upside for a guy that isn't pitching all that many innings as it is anyway. So I'm going to start it out. We're going to try to go Strider. We're going to try to go Braxton Garrett here again. You can go Lance Lynn if you want to save some money, but I feel like Strider has a better opportunity to shut down the Dodgers than Lynn does the Atlanta Braves. When it comes to catcher, again, as you can see, we only have $3,600 per position here. So breaking down the lineup as we go across, so we're going to need to try to find some value. I think we're going to find that with the Padres catchers here against Manaya. If all goes well here, we'll have Luis Campusano in the lineup. Came through for us now the last couple of days that he's been playing. Had a homer 2 nights ago, 2 hits on the Wednesday slate rather. So let's plug in Campusano as our catcher here, $37.85. When it comes to first place, it's obviously appealing to look at Matt Olson against Lance Lynn. We know Lance Lynn struggles against left-handed hitters, but $6,300, that just does not give you much wiggle room across the rest of the positions. Lucky for us, though, there's a value play down here that we've been hammering pretty hard the last few slates in Garrett Cooper. Still under $3,000, gets a lefty spot against Sean Manaya and whomever's going to be pitching in this game for the Giants. So let's go Garrett Cooper to help us get a little bit more value at the first base position. Now up to $39.33 for the rest of the player positions here. Once again, Mookie Betts would be great, but we are pitching Spencer Strider, Ozzie Albies against Lance Lynn. Tough to go. If we could fit Hyun-Sung Kim at $4,900, I would definitely like to go here. He hammers left-handed pitching. We've seen him do it time and time again. this season. But for me, again, just kind of looking down here, not a lot of options. Maybe when the lineups come out, we'll have a peek at maybe who or who isn't going to be in the lineup for these teams. But I'm going to go to Thairo Estrada. I know he's been a little slow to the gate since coming off the IL, but again, I don't think much of a Via here, and Estrada has that power stolen base potential that could help us in these GPP tournaments on smaller slates. A little over $3,800 per position remaining with third base, shortstop, and 3 outfield positions to go. Again, third base is a lot of top end talent. Austin Riley, Manny Machado in great spots here. Ha-Seong Kim has that dual positional eligibility, but it's tough going. You really have to find some good value if you wanted to go with Machado. $3,500 per position would be remaining here. I don't think you need to go all the way down, though. I'm going to put my basket here in Jake Burger, $4,100. I know this is a matchup righty on righty, but Burger has 27 homers on the year. He's hitting the ball pretty well right now. He's always a viable home run threat. And if they do get into that Washington bullpen, that could be fruitful for Burger here as well. So $4,100, go Jake Burger in my lineup. That leaves us $3,800 per position with a shortstop and 3 outfielders to go. Taking a look at the shortstop position again, a little bit of a tough spot here when you're looking to figure out where to go. So for that case, I mean, again, Abrams and Bogarts would be great, but they're kind of expensive. Orlando Arcia, again, Lynn has gotten done a little bit better against the righties and lefties. Maybe if Von Grissom finds his way into the lineup, I could be swayed a bit here, but I just went down. I know Joey Wendell isn't an exciting player really anymore, but he is $2,200. He's likely going to start. He's going to be a value saver here on this slate. So plugging him in at $2,200 gives us $43.33 per outfield position. And this is where we want to settle in because there's a couple of outfielders that I do like. Again, tough to spend up when you have a Spencer Strider in your lineup on just a 3-game slate to the limited value. So Ronald Acuna looks great. Fernando Tatis looks great, but I just can't fit them in the lineups here today. I went with Eddie Rosario. I think Michael Harris, again, giving you 2 Braves hitters that are on fire right now. We know Lance Lynn struggles against left-handed hitters. Both of these guys have power. So you go Harris, you go Rosario. That gives you $4,400 a player. And then I'm going to go Jock Peterson, another guy that's on fire right now, 381, 1,200 OPS over the last 10 games. So $400 left over. There's a couple of value plays you could obviously take a peek at if you wanted to on this slate. Yastrzemski's back off the IL. He's $3,100 to give you a little bit of value there. If you're not playing Strider, obviously there's some options down here. If you're not playing Garrett, you can play someone like Alex Cole. Certainly a play against left-handed pitching this season, but again, a small slate. You're going to see some pretty chalky plays and investments here. I think this is the best way to approach building a lineup when it comes to just 3 games here. So Spencer Strider, Braxton Garrett, Luis Campusano, Garrett Cooper, Thairo Estrada, Jake Burger, Joey Wendell, Eddie Rosario, Michael Harris, and Jock Peterson. It's the way I'm going about it here. You got 2 multiple 2-man stacks with the Padres, with the Giants, with the Braves, and with the Miami Marlins here. With the top spend up of Strider and Garrett. Now, if you did want to spend down, you could go ahead. If you think that maybe Adon can do it again against Miami, that'll give you plenty of money left over. Now, again, we can't obviously attack him in that instance, but $47.50 per position, plenty of money to figure out where you want to go here. If you want to plug in Xander Bogaerts or Orlando Arcia, you could. If you went Arcia, that would get you Manny Machado, and then you'd have a 3-man Padres stack, still a 2-person stack for the Giants, and a 3-man Atlanta Braves stack. So certainly can fool around with how you want to handle your SP2. I think you do need to plug in Spencer Strider on a 3-game slate. He's probably going to be 70% rostered. People, as I showed, can make a lineup today using Spencer Strider. So that's the way I would go about approaching it. Again, just 3 games. We will have a playbook out for everybody. You can find us in the Discord if you have any questions at all for how to go about building this lineup. James and I will also be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Shortened show, obviously, with just 3 games on the main slate. But we'll be there to answer your questions, give you some prop bets if you have any as well, and get you guys ready for this 3-gamer. This is your lottery ticket slate. We always say don't invest too heavily in these type of slates. Save your money for the larger slates where the ownership will be a little bit more spread out, where strategy really plays a big part in outgoing yourself and getting you in those cash lines, where these 3-game slates, it's all about getting the random one-off guy that's going to homer that can put you over the edge. So that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, again, a quick one, but just 3 games on the board. If you have any questions, find us in Discord, find us in Twitter, and we will see you guys later.